Yes, we are back again for Confidence Culture Conversations. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Wow, Elizabeth, hasn't been a cold day today, Elizabeth.
Don't tell me about it. I've been out and about today, so I have felt it. My fingers have felt the cold.
I saw your lovely TikTok and I was just thinking, this woman is courageous to go out of the house. I have not stepped out of the house and I've been very bad and I've been like so cold. But you know what? We are talking about courage today.
There you
Elizabeth,
go.
you got
Courage
an
to
A
step
star.
out.
AA star for courage today.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Honestly, I think, do you know what? It's interesting that we're talking about courage because courage is so important in life.
Mhm.
It is so so important, and like I've been talking a lot about like goals and make 2023 the best year, but you have to be courageous
Yes,
to even take action on that
because
because
go ahead, because
fear is one of the things that holds us back, right?
exactly,
And if you were
exactly.
going to go against fear, you need to come in with that brother called courage or
Mhm.
that sister called courage.
A, a
It's literally
bucket
like you have
full
to
of
put on a
courage,
garment.
a bucket full of courage.
There you go. Honestly, it's so necessary. It's so
Mhm.
much needed. So yeah, I'm excited for today's conversation. I'm looking forward to it. So Kirabai, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, now you put me on a spot
I
because
love
you are
it.
the courageous one today. I was, I was the coward who sat in the house. But anyway, thank you for the um, opportunity to kickstart this courageous conversation
I like that
with
courageous conversation.
confidence. And I was doing a little bit of research, and what comes first? Courage comes first, or confidence comes first? And what are your thoughts about that?
That's an interesting question. I think they come together.
Okay.
I think they, as I was sort of posting about this, and I was wondering, oh, what should I write? And I was thinking, if if confidence walked into the room, courage would be there too.
Yeah.
If confidence was a human being and confidence walked into the room, there would be someone close by called courage that walks in with them. They wouldn't walk in by themselves.
Okay. One blog writer writes like this. He says, courage comes first because you need to have that courage to overcome the fears that you have. And in overcoming those fears, it's where you will build that confidence to believe in yourself, to take action, to take
Absolutely.
charge, to take the change, and to transform your life. And it's so in keeping with our our 2023 mission statement and vision statement is to be confidently taking things that hold us or held us back on 2022.
Mm,
So, like what you say, if courage comes, confidence comes. If confidence comes, you've already conquered your fears and you're courageous to go.
that's
And
it.
talking about courage, you know, there's a lot of scam on social media, and sometimes to overcome the fear to connect someone on social media, it takes a lot of courage to connect because
Mm,
if you are suspicious, okay, like you and I, the common thread was we were both trained by John Maxwell's. So I know you're not a hanky panky person. You know, we have lots of invitations or lots of requests, guys wanting to come to get to know you. But you know what? Sometimes it works, it doesn't work. But why I'm sharing this is I'm very suspicious. I don't easily click on to someone and accept them as friends. But
mm.
it took me a little bit of courage. Say, This Elizabeth, she looks such a confident person. And how am I going to speak with her? I'm not, I need a little bit of, courage to connect. But you know what? Today we have connected, and the rest is history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? For the things that we want to achieve in 2023, we have to be willing to be courageous. We have to grow our courage. We
Hmm.
literally have to put on the garment of courage. If there is such a thing, we are going to have to put on the garment of courage.
Hmm.
The courage to change, the courage to step out from the norm, the
Hmm.
courage to do something different.
Hmm.
The courage to build new relationships, the courage to connect with new people, the courage to walk into a room and say, I am here, I want to own my space.
Hmm.
We need the garment of courage to achieve the things that we want to achieve. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you need courage in your toolbox.
Especially networking, you need a lot of courage to go and speak to strangers.
There you go.
If you want to expand your business circle, your there's a lot of meetups where you meet people, and you need to be courageous, because we meet a lot of people who do not have the confidence in themselves to walk
Mm,
up to someone and say, hello, my name is Kirubai. But
mm,
you need to have overcome that fear of meeting someone and saying, hey, this is me, like owning the space, owning that place I'm going a little bit on the social end, and I know, Elizabeth, you're bringing on to the but I think you also need to harness your social skills, and a lot of people lose out on that
mm.
because they're
You,
shy. They're shy.
you are right. You're absolutely right. Because if we are to, I mean, like you started off with referring to when we met and how we met, and just the courage to even say hello, or the courage to connect. And whether it's connecting face to face or connecting online, we need that courage. We need that courage because we have to build the right relationships for us to develop in the way that we need to develop this year.
Hmm.
And even just going forward in life, we
Hmm.
need to have the courage. And sometimes it's even just the courage to end a connection or to
Hmm.
start a connection. Being able to just say, hello, how are you? Sometimes it takes courage for us to develop in the way that we need to develop this year.
Oh, sorry.
And even just going forward.
This thing just pops up.
I'm glad we have some viewers in the room.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming on and listening to our nattering, but nattering with purpose. It's,
Absolutely,
it's just
absolutely.
not a aimless natter, but nattering with purpose.
Mm,
And welcome and thank you for joining us today. So, Elizabeth,
yes.
so you, as I said, you are the courageous one. I'm
So are
going to go.
you.
Yes, I am courageous. I'm not discounting that. But you see, I'm courageous enough to use my husband's jumper and sit here because it's really cold.
Wow, wow, you had to do that.
I just being very you know, laid back today. So, talking about courage, one of the things is stepping into what you are supposed to do and coming out, stepping in and stepping out of your comfort zones. You
Mm,
need courage.
mm-hmm.
Lots of us, as we come to a certain age, we are just so comfortable, status quo. and not thriving and striving to better things in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that you need courage is to say, hey, age is just a number, and I just want to do what I want to do. And you know what? Come what may, I want to enjoy myself and study something new, like probably study Japanese. I
Mm-hmm.
love Japanese food, so study Japanese, or a skill,
Mm-hmm.
developing a skill. You need courage to do that. And s- I I thought last year to jump off a plane. I never got around to doing it because there's a lot of don't do that. It's dangerous. But you know what? Maybe I'll try it this year again to pick up courage and say, I want to jump off a plane.
Mm.
But it's working. It's working. The thought is there. The thought is there.
You need to take action. The
Ah,
courage to take action.
yes, the thought is there. I thought I shall do it when I turn 60, but unfortunately, I didn't take action, and the action plan is going into 2023. I think, Elizabeth, you need to hold me accountable.
What, to jump out of a plane?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That sounds very exciting. I might even join you.
So probably the two women should do that. Whew.
No, do you know what? It's so important that we have the, you know, when we write our goals down, or when we think of some goals or some dreams, some things that we want to achieve, if those things are going to become a reality, then we need to, put on that garment of courage. Like I said earlier on, that garment of courage is going to be so, so, so important, for you to, whether it's you want to start a business or you want to get a promotion in the company that you're currently working in.
Mhm.
You have to be courageous to ask for it, to
Mm.
put your best foot forward. You have to be
Mhm.
courageous to put yourself forward for, some personal development courses. You have
Mhm.
to be courageous to put yourself forward to get a coach, to get a mentor. That takes courage.
Mhm.
To approach someone and say, can you mentor me? Can you be my coach? It takes courage, because it shows you're ready to change. It's embracing change. And every time we embrace change, it's an element of courage that's required.
Mhm. And talking about being on this subject, um, as you were saying about taking change to another level and having the courage to change. But my question here is, how are you going to develop this courage?
Mm.
Elizabeth, how are we going to develop this courage? We have to develop courage for different things. And it is a personal determination. I want to do it. I do not care what happens. I don't care about the consequences. I want to overcome my fear, and I want to hit this button of courage and delete the button of fear and take action.
Mm.
How is that gap going to be filled, Elizabeth?
Wow, wow, wow. That's a
It
that's
has
a
to
good
be.
question.
Is it has to be in your mindset, right?
Well, it starts from there.
Yeah.
It starts from there, but then it goes beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the things is to first of all get uncomfortable with
Mm-hmm.
where you currently are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're saying you need to be more courageous to do something, that means there's change, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
change that's required. So what change? Identify what that change is that's required, and start to determine, okay, what can I do today? And it's one of those things that you don't have to take massive steps at the start. Just take baby steps. Because sometimes we always think we have to start big, because they say, dream big or go home. So sometimes we think, courage means it has to be a big move, it has to be a big statement. But that doesn't have to be the case every single time. So sometimes it could just be starting small. So the courage to change your lifestyle. If you want to, for example, lose weight, the courage to change your eating habits, the courage to say no to the sugary
Temptations.
stuff. Say no
Temptation.
to the temptations, exactly. I remember one time when my mom was, doing like some slimming wild stuff, and she'd say, "Oh, this is a sin," or and I'm just like, "Oh, it's a sin, okay." It's funny how the sin seems so tasty. It's something that you just want to eat, you want a bite of it. Um, but it's important for us to build that courage, and one way to build the courage, I put out a reel earlier on about the determination to win in 2023 on your goals. So we need to be determined. So first of all, I recognize that change needs to happen, and I need to be determined. So one thing that can help with that determination is, what is my why?
Mm.
Why do I want to be more courageous to do this change, to activate this change? So understand what the reason is, the push for you to do it, because that will help you to stay. That will help you to build the courage to do it. Because if you know, for example, that you're going to, the doctor's given you a bad medical report, and so you need to deal with the weight issue, that should stir up some courage in you. That's your why right there. It
Mhm,
should
mhm.
stir up some courage in you to get up and do, to get up and make the changes that need to be made. So what is the why? And sometimes one of the things I like to tell my clients is, I want you to take a moment to dream about what life could be like if you achieved that dream, if you achieved that goal. What would life be like? So it's worth taking a moment to stop and dream. If I was courageous enough to make that change, what result would I be enjoying today?
And that's the outcome. The result is the outcome of what um, you really want. And visualizing. Are you talking about visualizing that outcome?
Absolutely, being
Mm.
able to visualize it. You visualize it and let it marinate in your subconscious.
Hmm.
Let it sit there for a moment. And then once you've woken up from that reality, then start to come up with a plan. What is my courageous plan? What is my strategy?
It's my visualization of dropping down a plane, the adrenaline kicking in, and the feel of the wind on my face. Ooh.
Do you know what, Kirubai? To jump out of the plane, I don't think it's courage you need. You just need to take action, because it's something you already want to do. You already want to do it. So you just need to get up and take some action on it. So stop procrastinating. Go
Uh-oh,
and
I've
book
been
it.
told off. I've been told off.
If you're watching this conversation and you know any companies that help people to jump out of planes, please drop the link so Kirubai can book her session, so she can do it. She can make this a reality. It was on her list to do last year. She didn't do it. So just put a link in the comments, so we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up. There you
Ah,
go, Kirubai. I've helped you. I've put it out there. The
thank
whole
you.
world is aware that you need to do this now.
Thank you. Thank you. When I moved to this country, and I think I shared this some time ago in one of our conversations. This is actually talking about courage, yeah? And understanding even Robert, because he had a very strong British accent, and I come from Asia. So understanding the accent and then socializing with his colleagues was like, I was like, I couldn't understand. I didn't know how to respond because I was fearing that I might say the wrong thing, hearing the wrong thing, and fearing the wrong thing. And it was, Elizabeth, you can't keep me shut. No, you can't keep my mouth shut. And I was like very coy and listening to the conversation, shaking, oh hi, hi, and that's it. And then Robert came and told me, what's wrong with you? You're not being yourself. Something wrong? I said, no, I feared I couldn't understand some of the cockney they were speaking. And you know what? He encouraged me. He said, make your mistakes, but be
Mm,
courageous enough
that's it.
to communicate and be part of the conversation, connect with them with your understanding. And if you don't understand, just say, would you be able to repeat, and tell them, I come from Asia, I don't understand, but you know what, I would like to be part of the conversation. And that's how I conquered my fear in speaking to the British people with the British accent here.
You know what? I love that example because it it just goes to show that sometimes we don't realize what we are missing out on
Hmm.
by not being courageous. But when we step into our courageous self, it opens up a lot more doors. It
Hmm.
opens up a lot more opportunities. Like the courage to show up on here.
Hmm.
Like there's a lot of people who are too scared to show up on social media. And they're scared for so many different reasons. But being able to have that courage to show up, talk about what you do, let the world know what you are doing, so that the world can buy into what you are doing, so you can open up the pool for more clients to come in.
Hmm.
And sometimes we don't have the courage because we think that we think of all the negative things that could happen. We
Hmm.
think of all the things that could go wrong. But what about if it all went right? If you were courageous enough to step out on that dream, and that dream was a huge success, and you made all the money that you wanted to make, and your life was transformed, your family was what would that do for you?
Hmm. And this little word called fear that holds you back, false evidence appearing
Yeah.
real. It might not have happened at all, but it's all what you conjure in your little gray matter, and that stops you from experiencing and enjoying the things that, are ahead of you, the things that are in front of you.
Mm.
Really food for thought, no?
Do you know what it honestly is? And I think being courageous doesn't mean that you have no fear at all. It just means that you are willing to do it even with the fear. You're willing to take the steps even though the fear is there. It's sort of like there's a percentage. So
Mm-hmm.
this time the courageous percentage is a lot higher, and the fear is a bit lower. So you're willing to make the move, you're willing to take the jump, you're willing to make the change that needs to happen. But honestly, if we want to achieve our goals in 2023, if we want to be those confident women, that we are meant to be, if we want to be the best versions of ourselves, if we want to conquer the things that need to be conquered, then we have to be courageous.
Mm.
We have to do whatever it takes to build that courage, to wear that garment of courage and wear it with pride.
you know having the courage to stand for your values, having the courage to be able to say no to something that doesn't sit right with you in a relationship, in a partnership, in the office, or standing up and saying, to your boss. You can talk to your boss very nicely, and standing up courageously and telling boss, I deserve, and I think I'm due for a promotion.
Mm,
And you need a lot of courage to it, because you might fear that he might give you a black mark on your appraisal. But being assertive and having the courage to go and speak to one on one to your superiors and saying, I don't know why I'm speaking about this. We things are changing in Asia. I go back to the scenarios in Asia. We are fearful of being forward and asking for what that is rightfully ours.
Mm.
And in every spectrum, standing for the rights, for your rights, and standing for the rights of someone else, you need courage for values and not compromising and
That's it.
sitting on the fence. Ooh, sitting on the fence. I don't like that. I really can't take it. But sitting on the fence is either a yes or a no.
Oh, I know. Mm. Mm. It's as you were talking, one of the things I was thinking about is, the courage to put yourself above. And when I say that, what I really mean is the courage to put your well-being as a priority.
Mhm.
A lot of times we're so concerned about other people. We can fight for other people more than we can fight for ourselves. We're being selfless. But when we talk about things like self-care, when we talk about personal well-being, it means you have to make you a priority too. So having the courage to say, actually, today I need to take a break. Today I need to take some time out and go and just rest.
Mhm.
The courage to say no to the routine of life,
Mhm.
to say no to all the demands that life is throwing at you, the courage to just be able to say, I need some peace of mind. I need to take half an hour, I need to take half a day, I need to take a whole day to just recuperate, to get over whatever I need to get over. The courage to deal with trauma. For someone watching, you might have experienced trauma in the past, and you have bottled it up, you have bottled it up, you have bottled it up, and you've just never had the courage to open it and deal with it.
Unpack it. Yeah.
And so it's still there, it's baggage that you're carrying.
Mhm.
You will forever be carrying that baggage until you decide to unpack it, until you decide to deal with it. That it's not going to disappear. Like, it's they say that time heals. It's not time that heals. It's you being able to address these things. That's what's going to get you to that place of healing. That's what's going to get you to that place where you move forward.
You can't hide these things under the carpet because somehow or other it will resurrect and it will show up in your character, in your attitude, in your nature, and it just pops up. It
Mm,
will pop up if you don't deal with it. I always say this: you have, like Elizabeth, what Elizabeth's saying is take courage to dig deep into these things, but if you don't do it, you start bleeding into other people, other things, your relationships, your even your finances. It trickles. Everything trickles. So and your family life, your spouses, your children. So it can go on and on and on. And one of the things that we are doing tomorrow is, the confidence culture transformation inside out,
mm-hmm,
where we deal with the inside. And Elizabeth is speaking about courage. And we have a guest speaker from Singapore who's going to speak about mindset. And I'm going to speak about change as it an acronym. And that is really dealing with your insights about your character, your attitude, your nature, and how you nurture all these things to bring forth something beautiful, that beautiful flower that needs to bloom.
mm,
And all that needs a lot of courage. And we ourselves, we need a lot of courage ourselves to speak about these things and to be vulnerable.
mm,
Because It's what we have gone through in life that we can openly share and say, hey, there is hope at the end of the tunnel.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so it's a lot of food for thought, very sobering thoughts. Even it's just 17th of January. Don't push these things under the carpet.
Mm,
Don't bottle it up. Don't drown it down with a bottle of wine or a fag cigarettes, or
mm,
going into wrong relationships, because all these things trickles into the next things. Deal deal courageously, and we are here to help you. We are here to help you because, as many know, that I went through abuse when I was 15,
mm,
and I had to pick up my courage to meet the person the offender and say, I forgive you. I was fearful, but I had to release myself and to release that person for me to move on. And I had to courageously deal with the little foxes that were stealing my peace.
mm.
Sometimes I cried, sometimes I was angry with myself, sometimes I was frustrated. But you know what? All that has made me a better person.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Kirubai. Um, I think for some of us, it's the courage to speak up, isn't it?
Mm,
The courage to speak up, because you might be enduring certain things and you've been silent for a while, but yet you want change. If you want change, then you have to be courageous enough to speak up, courageous enough to walk away, courageous enough to step up, step out, step down, whatever it is that you need to do.
mm.
You need to you need to find that courage from within, and that's why I was talking about being able to visualize what's on the other end of courage, being able to visualize what would my life be like if I was courageous enough to do this thing, if I was courageous enough to start doing this. What would my life be like? What does that picture look like? And if that picture brings you joy, if that picture makes you happy, if that picture has a fulfilling factor to it, then it's time to take action. Then you need to step up and do something.
And if you are in an abusive relationship, it is time to pick up your courage and walk away.
Mm,
Walk away. You need not endure that abuse.
mm.
You need not take some crap from someone who doesn't respect you. I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but it's time to pick up your courage and say no to abuse, no to narcissism in your relationship, no to a bully who is bullying you in your marriage. Stand up, take courage.
You've had it from Coach K. It's time to stand up and take courage wherever you are, wherever your life is at today. If there's something that you want to do, but you're too scared to do, it's time to step up, pick up your courage, pick up that garment of courage, whatever you need to do to build your courage. It is that time to do that thing, because Something has to change, something has to give. If you are comfortable with where things are at, and you know you're cool, you're satisfied, then that's fine. But if you want to have the best year, if you want the best version of yourself, then put on that garment of courage and start to do the things that you were scared of doing in 2022, the things that you were too scared to start in 2022. If it's a dream, some of us are too scared to start on a business. We have a business idea, but we're too scared to start because we think it's going to fail. Have the courage to start. Have the courage to start sharing your dream with some people. Write the vision down. Have the courage to write it down. You know, sometimes we have so many ideas in our head and we're too scared to write them down because maybe somebody's going to steal the idea, or even if we write it down, somebody might hold us accountable. Have the courage to be held accountable. Have the courage to be held accountable. It's so important. And you know, just going back to what Kirabai was saying, and thank you Sandra for mentioning that abuse is not just physical, it can be emotional and financial too. You know, and as Kirabai was just speaking earlier on, one of the things that came to my mind is we need to understand value. When we're talking about being courageous, we need to understand value of ourselves, value of situations, of relationships, value of people, individuals, value of different things in our lives, because that will help us to understand how courageous we need to be concerning a matter. So, for example, you know, we've talked about relationships. When you start to value yourself, there is certain things that you know that shouldn't be happening in a relationship. And so you will have the courage, because you value yourself, you will have the courage to step away. You will have the courage to say no. You will have the courage to walk out because you understand value. When you value, you know, your career, when you value your business, you will have the courage to step out on that business, to step out on that dream. You will have the courage to show up and shine in any capacity that you have, because you value your dream, you value your career. Because you value your career, you will have the courage to put yourself forward for opportunities to rise in that career, because you value the career and you value yourself, you value your time, you value what's inside here, you value your gift. Honestly, we are valuable people, but you need to understand your value. When you start to understand your value, it will be fuel for your courage.
Mm. It's all interlinked, Elizabeth. It's all interlinked. It's how you see yourself. Self love, see yourself, you know. Um, yeah, you know, it all clicks. It all clicks.
It does.
Mm.
It does. It does. Honestly.
You know, Sandra's comments, with God's strength, I had the courage to step out and appreciate my value. Sandra has a powerful story, a story of change and transformation, where she was and where she is now. And Sandra, I know your story, Sandra, and it's a powerful one, Sandra.
Mm,
Thank you.
wow. Courage. Courage. Do you know what? Courage can courage can expose you.
Well,
Courage can expose you, but when I say expose you, it can expose you, I think, in a good way, if you have the right measures, if you're doing it for the right reasons. So for example, people are courageous enough to come out and write books, writing their story.
mm,
and people write about various different things, and people write about the trauma they've experienced, and people write about, you know, relationships they've been through. They write about different things, but they had courage enough to write it, to publish it, to put it out there and say, this is my story. That takes courage.
And both Sandra and I have recently written in the Women of Resilience, our stories, and it's in a chapter in this book. And yes, Sandra, it took a lot of courage for Sandra to come out and write about herself, and also took a lot of courage to talk about forgiveness.
Mm,
And talking about writing a book, and we have someone in house who teaches how to write a book. Would you like to say something about Tunji, please?
absolutely, absolutely. So, for those that don't know, Tunji is my husband, and he is a book author coach. So, he helps people to write books and actually build a business from your book. So depending whether, regardless of the stage you're at with your book, he helps people at the very start, people who just have an idea. He will help you make that idea a reality. You know, if you've already written and you're wondering, what can I do with this book? How can I make this book work for me? He can help you to build a business from the book that you already have. So if you sitting there, you're watching this and you want to write a book, reach out to us, get in touch with us, and we will put you in contact with him. Or even if there's demand, we can bring him on here to talk a little bit about the 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 confidence to tell your story,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important. Sometimes we are not courageous enough to tell our story, but yet there is someone that needs to hear our story. There is someone who is looking for answers, and the answers they're looking for are in our story.
Mm-hmm.
But when we don't have the courage to tell our story, these people are looking and looking and looking. So if you're ready to get started on your book, put a comment and we'll reach out to you so we can get that started. We can make that dream a reality.
Now is the time.
There you go.
So, Elizabeth, it's already time to say goodbye.
It is.
I know you must have had a long day.
Singers have been out and about, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Let's have a let's call it a day, and have some family time for reflection on the areas that we need to pick up our courage, time
Mm-hmm.
to just relax and say, this is my me time. Lock the children up in the washroom and have me time. Oh, don't do that. I'm
Wow.
being goofy.
Kirabai.
Have a nice long bath, relax. And yes, I don't know why I'm very tired today, but I'm going to take a break. It must be the weather. Let's blame it on the weather. So, Elizabeth, what do you have for the next few weeks? I think you've got a program running now, right, Elizabeth?
I have got a program running. I have got something that is happening on 28th of January. And I was just
Okay.
trying to see if I can show something about it. If I can get it up. Let's have a look. So on 28th of January, I am running an online, it's a Saturday, about 10 a.m. UK time, and I will be running a masterclass. So it's really an online workshop or an online, training, and it's going to be via Zoom, but you need to register. You don't have to be based in the UK. You can register from anywhere in the world as long as you join us at 10 a.m. GMT. It's £50 to register, and it's called a Growth and Goals Masterclass. Now, the purpose of this masterclass is really to help you get started and build some strategies around your goals for 2023 so that you can make 2023 the best year yet for you. Now, alongside that, what I am also offering is if you book and register for this masterclass, then you actually get 1 hour one-to-one coaching session with me, yours
Mm.
truly. So honestly, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. You really don't, because my sessions usually go for a lot more than that.
Mhm.
But I'm doing this really to help people get started, to help people. And these are the details. Yes, it came through. So these are the details. You can also just send me a message and I'll be able to get the details over to you. But just register. And honestly, I really want to help as many women as I can help. So help me just share the information out as well. Um, your your goals cannot be achieved unless you are committed to growing in 2023. So if you want to achieve your goals, whatever goal it is, there has to be an element of growing that happens. And I want to help you. I want to hold your hand along the way. And one of the things that I'm actually probably going to be doing is maybe put together an accountability group that will run through the year 2023, and we can check in with each other to make sure that those goals are being worked on and those goals are being achieved. So if you are ready to make your goal, your dream a reality, then give me a shout.
Ooh, who's that? 69 meg.
I'm
Oh,
not sure, but they might be on YouTube, probably my YouTube, I think.
okay.
But it's
All
not
right.
it's not the kind of messages we want to see.
That's right. Anyway, it's great that you've kick-started your master class. We have um, a webinar tomorrow at 12 o'clock GMT, which is a free webinar. And if you are interested, we will send you a link, and it's at 12 noon for just about an hour. We have a special guest from Singapore. Let's hear from the other side, the Asian side, how they deal with things, the mindset. And we have Lillian Ong speaking and sharing. Elizabeth and I are both sharing, and we are talking about change and transformation. And we would love you to join. It's a free webinar, but the links, if you need those links, please reach out to us. We are happy to share the link with you. And I'm still working on my programs, and I'm coming up with something the end of the month, and it's going to be You Are What You Wear. And the
Ooh.
philosophy of how you dress up is the way you feel inside. The way you feel inside translates the way you dress, and the way I see your wardrobe translate the way you are. So there's something that I'm putting together, and watch this space.
Mm. Awesome, awesome. And you know what? If you can join tomorrow, join us tomorrow. If you're in and around the London area, we also have something coming up for you in February. We'll probably share the details next week, but
Mhm.
we are working on something, and it's not going to be online, it's going to be face to face. So we can
Woo!
be in the room together. We can be in the room together.
And
I'm
feel the vibe,
excited.
and
I'm
feel the
looking
vibe,
forward to it.
feel the vibe, and feel the tribe.
There you go. So look out for the details. And oh yes, just one final one. So on June 17th, 2023, we are having the Kingdompreneurs Summit
Ooh.
in London.
Ooh,
The speakers have been confirmed. It is going to be amazing. We just need to confirm the exact hotel, but 17th of June, put that date in your diary and join the Kingdompreneurs Summit. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be hot. You need to be in the room for that one.
I better mark my calendar.
Oh, you better, Kirubai, because you have to be in the room. It
I
won't be
had
the
a
same
great time
without
last
you.
year. It got me thinking of a lot of things and putting things in perspective for me. So, for those who are listening, if you do not have certain godly directions, that's where you need to be. Kingdompreneurs Summit. And it's the 17th of June, 2023. Marking it
There we
down now.
go. Yes, 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 yes. So, thank you everybody for joining us this evening, for taking time out from your schedules to sit with us and have a conversation with us. If you are watching this at a later time on replay, just put a comment, whether it's just to say hello, ladies, hello, Elizabeth, hello, Kirubai. Just write something because we would love to hear from you. We would love to know who's watching and where you're watching from. Um, Sandra, you would like more details.
I,
Okay.
I will give Sandra the details.
Absolutely. Kirubai will get the details to you. Thank you, Kirubai. Lovely, lovely. So yes, we are going to call it a day for today. But thank you to everyone who was courageous enough to join us. And we hope that going forward, you will be courageous enough to run with the things that you are running with, courageous enough to be your real, authentic self. The world does not need another copy of me or another copy of Kirubai. The world needs you. So be courageous enough to step out as the best version of yourself. Like I enjoy saying, show up and shine. Be courageous enough to show up and shine. Now I need to be quiet. Over to you, Kirubai.
Oh, I have said my piece. Yes, stand up and shine. This is your time. This is your time, ladies. And if there's a gentleman here, this is your time. Shine forth and have a good night. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye. Thank you for joining us once more.